Hey guys, my name is CL Creech. I am the author, creator, and publisher of One Last Quest, and as part of my series celebrating my birthday in June, I'm reading One Last Quest for you guys. So if you haven't had time to read it, that's okay. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm sorry if I don't do really great voices, but hey, it's nature of the beast. If you haven't listened to the first 10 episodes of this series so far, go back and listen, or you're going to be really lost here in a moment. Tonight we are doing Chapter 10, Around the Campfire. After a long day of travel and fun with the tournament, it was finally time to have dinner around the fire. Danny and Jackie helped build and maintain the fire, while Michelle and Kelly assisted Rick with cooking. It wasn't long before everyone had eaten and were kicked back by the fire. Stars shined bright overhead, and the nearly full moon smiled down upon the group of adventurers. The wind blew strong enough to be relaxing without being cold. It was a near perfect night. Rick, you must be an actual wizard to be able to cook a perfect medium steak over an open flame, Danny said while eating the last bite of his T-bone steak. And the grilled veggies were perfect, Kelly exclaimed. I don't think that was Kelly's voice I'd used previously. You must be working magic if you can get those two to agree on something, Jackie said with a laugh. Rick took a strong sense of pride in cooking. In his everyday life, he was always on the go, but he always took extra care to make sure those around him had a full and nutritious meal. He enjoyed his role as being a caretaker. You're very welcome, guys, Rick said with a smile. When you cook dinner for a wife and 5 kids every night, and all the friends they bring home, you become a master chef pretty quick. It felt good to Rick to be appreciated. His family gotten so used to the hard work that he rarely got so much as a thank you at home. It didn't bother him, but when he did get the appreciation, it made him feel extra proud. Anytime you feel like setting an extra plate, let me know, Jackie said with a smile and a laugh. I second that, Danny excitedly added. Rick would love to have his family over. Uh, Rick would love to have his game family over to his house. He thought it'd be a nice change to have his game family meet his actual family. You guys are welcome at my home anytime, Rick said with a smile. As everyone was laughing and having fun, Rick looked over and noticed Michelle sitting quietly. This was a stark contrast to the fun she seemed to be having earlier in the day. She was staring at the sky. Rick couldn't help but wonder what was going through her mind. How was your steak, Michelle? Rick asked, hoping to get her talking. It was wonderful, Michelle said, shaking her head. Everyone was now looking at Michelle, whose eyes bounced between the sky and the dancing flames of the fire. A couple of minutes went by before Danny broke the silence. No one was sure what to say. No one was sure if there was anything they could say to help her. Are you okay? Danny asked Michelle. Michelle shook her head as if she was coming out of a trance. I'll be fine. I just have a lot on my mind, Michelle replied. The calm night air and clear sky caused Michelle to reflect and think. Her mind wandered not just to the events of the past few days, but the past few years as well. It blew her mind how after all this time, these people that she laughed and cried with all those years ago could come back together for her. While she was enjoying it, it was overwhelming for her. Aren't you having fun? Kelly asked. Michelle thought for a moment before answering. I'm having a blast. I need to get some rest, Michelle said as she set her plate down and went into the tent. The rest of the group sat quietly for a bit longer. Each one reflected on their personal journeys in life thus far, and how they got to this point. Each one was very different, leading different lives, taking different paths. But in times of crisis, they still came together as a family. It's getting late, Rick said as he looked up at the sky. Maybe we should all turn in. We got a full day of questing tomorrow. Rick had more ideas for things to do the next day. As the unofficial group leader, he wanted to make sure they were all rested and ready to go. He believed that it would be hard to have fun if they were too tired to do anything. Good idea, Danny responded as they all stood up. It still baffles me that you can think to bring boffer weapons for everyone, but you only bring one tent, Jackie said to Rick as she went into the tent. I can't remember everything, Rick said with a smile, following behind. Now you stay on that side of the tent, Kelly said, pushing Danny toward one side as she started to enter the tent. If I even think you've crossed to my side, I'll slit your throat. Got it? Got it, Danny said, defeated, as he entered the tent, making sure to stay on the opposite side from Kelly. Michelle was the last to enter the tent. She took one last second to stare up at the sky as if to make a silent wish before she joined the rest of the group. As the fire died down and the night grew colder, the group attempted to adjust to sleeping together. This would not be an easy adjustment. The tent wasn't very large and was only made to fit a family of 3 or 4 comfortably. Who keeps kicking me? Kelly asked at one point during the night. Sorry, Rick said. My bad knee's acting up and I'm trying to straighten it out. Rick tried not to kick so hard, but it was hard. A lifetime of hard work had damaged his knee beyond reasonable repair, and the close quarters weren't helping the situation. This tent is way too small for 5 people, Kelly said with an irritated tone. I'm sorry, I thought you guys would all bring tents too. This is a camping trip after all, Rick replied. Rick wished that he would have thought to pack at least one extra tent. When his family went camping, they would normally bring at least 3. He now realized that he should have brought all 3 of them. I mean, you did think of all this other stuff, like the food and the weapons, Danny said. Shut up, asshole, Kelly yelled. The tent once again got quiet as everyone tried to sleep in their cramped quarters. It wasn't long before someone else broke the silence. Who keeps grabbing my boob? Michelle asked as she looked around. Probably Danny, that pervert, Kelly answered. Danny looked around in shock. It wasn't me, Danny said defensively. Jackie woke up from a deep sleep hearing the commotion. Sorry, she said, shaking her head very groggily. Just had this weird dream where I was in the gym trying to crush a cantaloupe. This confused Rick, who said, Why would you crush a cantaloupe at the gym? Because when I used to crush watermelons, I got too many complaints, Jackie replied. This wasn't any less confusing to Rick. Makes sense, Danny said. While it may have made sense to Danny, the rest of the group was still confused. Michelle, on the other hand, had a very different perspective on this particular situation. While I appreciate that you think I have cantaloupes, can you not crush what little I have? Michelle asked. Sorry, Jackie said. Just as they were about to doze back off, a loud rippling noise was heard. What the? Michelle started to ask before realizing what it was. Danny! Everyone except Danny exclaimed as they all rushed out of the tent to escape his flatulence. Sorry, guys, it was a mistake, Danny said sheepishly. After giving the tent time to air out, they each re-entered, hoping to get a little bit of rest before the next day's activities. It was a short chapter tonight, guys, but that is the end of chapter 10. I hope you had fun, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.